Hello everyone watching at home, welcome to the Adelaide Eternal Legacy Cup Top 8. I'm Sarven McLinton, and in the booth here with me is Beckett Wolfe.
Well, g'day guys.
We have a very, very exciting matchup for you. This is the quarterfinals. The feature match here features Sean Brown on the right on Rug Delver, and on the left we have Russell Jamieson, who is on Burn Splashing White. Shall we check out the deck lists?
Yeah, well, we've already seen Sean's list. We'll pop it up on the screen for you there.
Yeah.
We went through it in the round four. So we've gone through that. It's a classic Rug Delver tempo list, very similar to Blue-Red tempo with Delver, Terramanders, and Young Pyros.
But green threats instead that are
green
awesome.
threats instead.
Yeah.
So let's get up Russell's.
Yep.
He's on Burn, and he's got 2 plateaus there, but no white spells in the main. What's with that?
So if you've seen Burn before, you'll see the usual suspects. Some of the usual suspects have been moved to the board, like Price of Progress, and instead, the new cards, Skewer the Critics and Light Up the Stage, are being tried. I talked with Russell as well about it, and he said that he was trying them. You know, he'd had some good success with them, but he was still in that kind of trial phase. So whether or not the deck still looks like this in a month could be completely different. But he's got 2 plateau splashing 4 Path to Exile. So the literal only card in the board that is white is Path to Exile, and that's probably because he loses quite often to things like Maritlage. Oftentimes, when you don't make any kind of interaction whatsoever with your opponent, they have some kind of way to combo off, and their combo involves a creature, you just lose on the spot.
Yeah, honestly, even Goyf.
Yeah, Goyf, exactly. You go like, Tarmogoyf, he was lamenting the fact that Tarmogoyf blocks all of his creatures all day. Gurmag Angler does the same thing. And also, the best way to beat Burn is to have a fast clock. If you play Gurmag Angler and you turn it sideways 3 times, usually you're able to kill them real quick.
Absolutely. Let's get down to the game, Sarv.
All right, they've just drawn their cards. All right, Sean's presenting his deck.
I think, one benefit, I would have thought, my first instinct was Price in the main, has to be in the main. That's one of your best cards. But, to Russell's credit, I think when you're trying with new cards, it's a really good thing because you get to, what if they are correct? There's a chance that it is actually correct to be playing Skewer the Critics Light Up the Stage. So it's maybe worth having a shot to be able to break that cycle of, Burn's like a decent, maybe these make Burn tier 1, I don't know.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether or not, instead of shaving the 4th Eidolon and the Price of Progresses, those 4 cards stay in and the Lava Spikes end up being cut or something. We don't know what would happen.
I actually like them. I've played against Light Up the Stage, not in Burn. I've played against it in other decks, and I really like Light Up the Stage.
Red Brainstorm, right?
Oh, Goblin Guide. So it's a good start.
This is the best opener you could ever have.
And all secrets revealed now. I think Sean knows what he's on. There's not going to be some show and tell combo after this. So,
turn 1 Goblin Guide, turn 2
Sean
Lotus Petal,
Sean reviewing his hand.
Sneak Attack. No.
Did I keep a good hand for this matchup? Because probably these guys are Russell's from Adelaide, Sean's from Melbourne, so, they don't, it's actually a big factor, when you play against people you keep different hands, etc. So
yeah, every time I sit down in front of Russell Jamieson, I'm thinking to myself, I'm so glad I've got 3 Hydroblast in my sideboard. I'm going to get wrecked otherwise. Here is a Delver of Secrets on turn 1. This is a great example, right? Remember how last time Sean Brown was on camera, he spent his first 3 turns going Ponder, Brainstorm, Ponder, then finally playing Nimble Mongoose and then making it Threshold? Here, it's the complete opposite. Delver of Secrets turn 1, no fluffing around with card selection. It's all about getting a clock out, finishing the game quickly, because otherwise the Burn deck will be faster.
Yeah, or even being able to flip Delver to trade with the Goblin Guide. Ideally, you'd be bolting it, but you might be forced to block. And if Delver's going to get interacted with, then that's 1 less Burn spell to your face. So I much prefer going turn 1 Delver here rather than trying to construct a good hand where you've got a threat with matter to back it up.
Yeah, and here's a light up the stage.
Yeah.
So Light Up the Stage. Oh, wow. Okay. So this is maximum respect to Light Up the Stage. Reason being, Stifle was pitched to Force of Will, and Stifle has next to no targets against Burn. So Sean's going, well, I'm just going to make sure that I just use this Force of Will on the light up stage. And
play.
It made
No
sure that there was no land.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think forcing earlier, against aggro decks, forcing earlier is better. You get the most value out of the 0 mana casting cost of Force. If you do it later, they could just cast like a 2 mana counter spell. If you're going to be doing counter spells on turn 4, turn 5, you might as well play counter spell, not Force. So this is why you play Force, because it's 0, you get ahead on tempo. Here we go, Goyf.
Yeah, so this is going to be Sean Brown getting ahead when he has 2 creatures, both of which are going to apply a maximum amount of pressure from next turn. Tumbleweed probably going to become a 4/5, and Delver probably going to become a 3/2. Massive. So here comes a Rift Bolt suspended, very, very slow. Russell's obviously not happy with this because his whole hand is full of removal, no doubt, but they just can't be used. Delver does not flip.
Ooh, so Goyf, I think, is really, really big here. This is one of the main reasons, I think, as we said before, Russell's probably thinking, I'm going to bring in those parts. That's the main reasons they're in there, something like this. It's still scary, though. Burn's still scary. He hits another land, and he can deploy that hand really quickly. And there's 3 Fire Blasts as well, so... Burn's, people see Burn as a budget deck, but I think it's really strong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a budget, but a very good deck as well.
I think Sean did that the wrong way around. He's got green and blue.
He meant to sequence it the other way. Yeah. It was pretty obvious what he was going for. As you can see, Adelaide Eternal, still comp rel, but most of the time, opponents are pretty chill. It's a chill atmosphere. This is still top 8, and, credit to him, Russell being like, yeah, I see what you're going for. Obviously, you would have played optimally there.
Spellpierce is quite strong there, and Sean's looking really far ahead.
That's a really, really nice clutch Spellpierce. Now, if these Delvers flip next turn, it's going to be a massive amount of damage.
I would go so far as to say it's almost game here, and I think this is why you want Price of Progress in your main board to get you back in. You can go Price Fire Blast, and that's 10 damage that.
Yeah.
So
end of turn price, go to my turn price.
Yeah.
So this is the second land. So the land that Russell was searching for is here, and it is ready to choose to whether you deploy 2 1-drop spells, or whether you end up deploying 1 2-drop spell, basically. So that was runner lands, for the Goblin Guide. Flipping off 3 lands.
It's a bit of a decision here. I mean, on one hand, you're so far ahead, you feel like you could maybe block and trade and not die to some ridiculous price Fire Blast. But on the other, those Delvers are about to flip and do 6 damage, so you don't really want to trade with them. I prefer taking 2 there as well. What is that?
It's a Lava Spike. It's the alternate art from Uma Thurman set, whatever it's called. And that represents quite a bit of damage. I mean,
I really like Light Up the Stage.
It's looking pretty sweet here.
Yeah, I think it's. I'd even say it's correct. I think I prefer. Russell's playing 3 Eidolons. I think I prefer 4th Eidolon because it gives you a lot of reach against combo decks.
Oh, I love Eidolon. It's so good.
Yeah,
it's amazing. It's really good against control. Really good against combos. Basically, only not good against aggro. And if you're in the mirror, he blocks pretty damn well because he's a 2/2.
Yeah, but again, it's a nice one to have main board. Really great against the majority of the meta, and then it's a nice easy one to side out. It's probably a pretty clean side out to side them out for Path to Exiles and Searing Blazes and such.
Yep, makes sense to me. So the 2 cards that were flipped off other than Lava Spike was another one of these Expedition Egyptian God cards. I think it's some kind Mesa, of fetch land. Yeah, okay, there you go. And a land has already been played for the turn, obviously, which was to play around days, I assume. But
he's got it next turn, yeah.
Yeah. Oftentimes, with Light Up the Stage, you go, well, I don't want to play my land because I want to play the land from the Light Up the Stage. But when you're against a Delver deck and they got 1 card in hand, you're like, I haven't seen a daze yet. Could be a daze, and it could be pretty backbreaking if you don't play the land first. So what's this? Another 1-drop.
He's in the tank. It's a pretty tough spot.
So, let's say that hypothetically there's a bolt for the Goblin Guide. Then Tarmogoyf becomes a 4, and that bolt is going to flip the 2 Delvers. Is it going to be enough damage next turn? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
Critics. And notice Russell's going for the face, and I totally agree. At this stage, you're so far behind. The only way you're going to win is with crazy burn, Fire Blast, not with challenging those creatures on the board.
For sure. And that was a Delver not flipping again. So This is critical. This
It
is
is, isn't it?
Yeah, I was definitely in Sean Brown's camp for the win. He looked like he was kind of like 90% to win
Well,
there.
yeah. Once he played turn 2 Goif,
Yeah,
but we weren't expecting these Delvers not to flip this.
yeah, three
I think
turns
he's
in a row.
still far ahead, but like it's scary now.
Oh, for
And he's
sure.
only got, I think, Trop in his hand and one other
Mhm.
because he flipped Trop off Goblin Guide.
He's on effectively 6 life.
He's swinging. The reason he's swinging Delvers, I like this. He knew he wasn't going to block with the. He didn't block with the Delvers last turn. So he's like, well, if I'm not going to block with the Delvers last turn, why would I block this turn? So I don't mind swinging with Delvers, but now, is he thinking because the Delvers didn't flip, now I'm behind, so now I do need to block? It's a tricky one. I think I prefer swinging.
Yeah, getting in for 5 here, taking to 9, which then presents lethal the following turn because he's going to chump block the Goblin Guide with the Mongoose as necessary, and this will effectively put him on 6 from the Lava Spike. So he could die to like 2 bolts, but and the thing is, he knows that Russell's hand is no lands. The rest of his hand is actual spells, something that's very, very scary when you're against a burn deck.
And Sean not playing the Trop, even though it's known information, just for a better brainstorm later. But going back to what I was saying, that I think a lot of new players get in the habit when they're playing against aggro, and especially burn, of keeping back to block because they're scared of haste, etc. But you just got to make the decision, well, I'm not realistically going to win this match if my Delvers aren't flipping and swinging for lethal on the following turn. So if that's not happening, then I'm not going to be blocking. And if I'm not going to be blocking, I might as well swing.
Yeah, and the longer the game goes against burn, the more
Absolutely.
inevitability they have, even though...
It's a weird one, isn't it?
You're a
Where
control deck,
if you're not going to stabilise, then you need to finish ASAP.
It's about doing something. So, like, if you're either engineering a situation to take over the game, or you're closing the game, you're not doing nothing. Because if you're doing nothing, it's an easy way to lose to burn.
Yeah, well, it's very true because you can keep up counter spells against burn, or play this defensive line, but then that's 3 more turns the game's going, and most likely 2 of those 3 cards are going to be more damage. So that's 6 more damage to your face. You need to account for that.
Yeah, Russell is on 8 now, right? Because he lost life from the fetch land. Maybe that's right. Maybe I missed it. But the Lava Spike going to the face, and this takes Sean to 3.
Here we go, flips.
Now,
let's go.
No
way.
That was 5 turns, I think.
So I was watching this game for real at the start. I watched when Sean played turn 2 Goif, and I just made the decision. I was like, oh, okay, yep, Sean's up on this one. Not sure how good this matchup is. I've never played as either player, but I'm not sure. I assume it's pretty even. But yeah, I didn't realise that Russell actually had a chance in this.
Yeah, this is like the hand. Sean Brown has a hand of 4 lands.
Well, he hasn't seen Ponders or Brainstorm, so he
no.
hasn't been able to. It's not just about being lucky that he flips Delvers. There's a really high chance the Delvers flip, not just because it's luck, but because he hits a Ponder and he's able to manipulate the deck anyway, and manipulate it by finding relevant cards for the matchup as well. So he hasn't been able to do either of those things.
What's
hit his
also
creatures,
rough?
Though.
What's also rough is that if Goblin Guide attacked last turn, he would have put the land into hand, and then there might have been an instant or sorcerer on top. That's like... Because last turn I was going, why don't you just swing with Goblin Guide? Because then it takes your opponent down to 1, and...
I guess he's scared of Delver flip, and then that's 9 just from Delver, Mongoose, and you chump. You need to be able to chump Goif and Nimble.
Do you need to chump both? I don't think you do.
Yeah.
I think you only need to chump
because
1.
Nimble. Sorry, I'm assuming Nimble's threshold, but he's not, is he?
Yeah, you only need to chump 1.
You're right.
And then, so like I liked the attack last turn with Goblin
okay.
Guide, but that would have actually put the land into hand.
I think this might be old Russell.
Yeah, I think it was kind of 90% to Sean Brown, and then based on that
here now,
Delver not flipping, it just swings all the way back to Russell. I think
you swing here and there's a forced block, right? So you're either killing 2 of his creatures, or you're just getting a little chumping a 1/1 and a 2/2, which feels pretty bad.
Yeah, I like this pre-combat. I definitely like this pre-combat.
Yeah. Ask the question, and Lavamancer can do the last 2 damage, which doesn't trigger your own Eidolon. I'd prefer swing there for sure, though.
Yeah, I like the swing because then it forces a chump block.
Exactly.
Because there's no way you're double blocking.
Absolutely.
You're always chump blocking. And
that's it. It's either double block, kill it, or most likely chump block with Nimble Mongoose.
There's another logic though to not swinging, and that is if there's a land on top, it clears the land. Whereas if it's a spell on top, you're going to lose anyway. You're gonna die to it. they're going to flip anyway. That was no flip for 6 turns in a row.
Yeah, and flip there. Oh, was he? Maybe Russell's thinking defensively, like he needs to kill Delvers if they flip.
Yeah, well, look, Grim Lavamancer is going to do 2 this turn and 2 next turn. So, but Stifle is a thing. But look at that hand from Sean Brown. 4 lands, plays the 5th land as well. Yeah, it's pretty rough.
I can even see, we can't see his face, but I can almost see in his hand gestures, he feels a little bit defeated there.
Yeah, that's rough. Because once you're on 1, you basically can never answer. You can't cast spells, even if you wanted to. Even if you wanted spells, you couldn't.
Just got to skip them up, Sean. That's all you can do, mate.
That is brutal. That being said, nothing to be taken away from Russell, because there were some very key choices there about not attacking with Goblin Guide and the like, to just ensure that if there's land on top, it doesn't get cleared, and if it's a spell on top, well, it's going to be no flip anyway.
I think also Skewer the Critics changes a lot of the maths for Burn now. There'll be a lot of Burn players who are used to certain lines, and Skewer changes a lot of that. Like, oh, I could do this, or I could get lucky with a good Skewer. So it, but I can only get lucky with a good Skewer, but I have to do that post combat to get the spectacle. I think it puts a lot of questions in the deck.
You're talking about light up, right?
Sorry, my apologies. But light up the stage. Yeah.
On that topic about Skewer the Critics, so Skewer the Critics is in a very strange spot because it's super efficient. When you have spectacle, it's fantastic. It's way better than Lava Spike. It's often way better than Chain Lightning. It's really, really, really good. The problem is often you're using your bolts to kill a creature to turn your creature sideways to ensure that you're basically converting your spell into damage as well as removing a blocker. Skewer the Critics is really, really bad at killing blockers. It's good at going to the face. It's good at engineering kind of controlling situations.
Are you saying because most of the times you'll be spectacling it, which will be post-combat anyway?
Yeah. So pre-combat, paying 3 mana to remove a blocker feels very bad when you should be winning on turn 4.
It's almost better when you've got Lava Spike, but I would have... See, my instinct was, well, it's better than Lava Spikes, so just take out Lava Spikes, put in Skewers, but it almost doesn't work without the Lava Spikes. Even though I think the Lava Spikes are one of the worst cards in the matchup, or in the list, you kind of need that. But
there are situations though where you can go, and this is a bit sketchy, right? But you can cast a spell to bait them into Force of Willing, and then after they Force of Will, cast Skewer the Critics on their blocker and then attack. Because they spectacle for you. They're fringy situations, but they happen. There's also things like your opponent fetches poorly. So oftentimes when your opponent is on a deck with 8 spectacle cards, you crack your fetch in your main phase and you do some other stuff. But when your opponent doesn't know that, and you go, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to cast this spell. And they go, in response, crack this fetch land, spell pierce your thing. And you're like, sure, okay, after that I'll Skewer the Critics your thing because they've taken 1 damage.
So we've got the sideboards up there. We'll just have a quick chat. I think Path to Exile's going in. We already said that. Most likely Price of Progress going in.
Yep.
And Searing Blaze, I would say, is going in.
For sure. If Searing Blaze isn't coming in here, it's not coming in anywhere.
And I would take out...
It's fantastic.
Yeah, I would be taking out most likely, Eidolons, because it's a aggro mirror-ish, and Lava Spikes.
Yeah, so Lava Spike is really bad, so that gets out of there.
Exquisite Firecraft.
Exquisite Firecraft is good against Daze and Spell Pierce, but it is 3 mana. The good thing about Exquisite Firecraft is it kills a Tarmogoyf. It kills 3-4 Tarmogoyf, and 4 toughness or more is always very, very difficult for the Burn decks to deal with. Burn has to often make a decision. Do I ignore Tarmogoyf, go around it, and try and attack your face? Or do I use my removal spells to double up, like a Searing Blaze and a Skewer the Critics or something to kill the Tarmogoyf and then go to your face afterwards by attacking with my creatures? It's very, very hard, which is why Russell is on a full 4 Path to Exile on the board. He's literally lamented the fact to me multiple times when I play a Tarmogoyf and he goes, oh, this card is so good against me. So,
I think that's right. He wants those burns to go to the face, not to creatures.
Of all the decks that you bring Searing Blaze in against, Sean Brown's deck is often in a situation where the Searing Blazes only cleanly kill 1 creature, and that's Delver. Because the other guy has Shroud, and the Tarmogoyf you're often actively only going to play when it's a 3-4.
Well, going back to the games now. Sean's on the play. He's got that turn 1 Delver.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about that as well. I think I really like playing turn 1 Delver, getting in that race.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, Russell's 1-drops are going to be either a 2-2 Goblin Guide or a 1-2 Swift Spear. So he's going to be able to get in there, and he's going to be able to race.
Yeah, both of them are really, really great at getting past
even better is
1-1.
Lavamancer.
Yeah, Lavamancer is amazing.
Just a 1-up, but...
So here comes Goblin Guide. Yep. Goblin Guide is sweet. So this one is a decision. Do you daze it or not?
Ooh.
I definitely daze it. If I have daze, I would snap daze the Goblin Guide.
Depends on the rest of my hand, you know. If you got like Goyf in hand, you might want to just deploy Goyf and say, yeah, I can just Goyf turn 2.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
true.
see what that was. It looked
That
like
was a Cindervines.
Okay. Ooh, Cindervines. Why is he playing Cindervines?
Well, it is a race, and it's kind of like a one-sided Eidolon, mini Eidolon.
There's no real artifacts on enchantments.
No, it's just entirely for its Eidolon.
Eidolon's an enchantment.
Oh wow!
It's an enchantment creature.
You are absolutely right.
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah, so Cindervines is there as a one-sided Eidolon that kills an Eidolon.
There you go.
Nice. Yeah, the damage adds up, and basically Sean needs to be fast. Like you're not a control deck, so he's trying to be as fast as possible. And that contributes some damage. So here comes Monastery Swift Spear. As you can see, you were just saying before, both of your 1-drops are very, very good against Delver of Secrets. You know, a 1-1. They get past it real fast, even if the 1-1's turned sideways as well. So that was a Force of Will on Monastery Swift Spear. Sometimes
Force feels so bad in the matchup, but like you have to keep
it's necessary.
It in.
Here's a second Monastery Swift Spear. Is this a daze? Yeah, so it's float 1 blue mana.
I like
daze
this.
that one. Yep, love it. So that gets rid of 2 creatures for 3 spells, and use the mana to abrade the Goblin Guide. Very nice. When he goes to attacks, get to abrade. So that was so this explains why the daze wasn't turn 1. Because if you daze the Goblin Guide on turn 1, you don't have abrade up for 2 turns, which is a huge amount of time. So I can see where that was coming from. Now, if Delver flips here, then Sean is firmly in the driver's seat. It doesn't flip. Oh. So it looks like Sean Brown has some pretty bad luck with the flipping Delver of Secrets in this match.
He's playing 32 instant sorceries and only 10 creatures, which is a little bit more, a little bit less creatures than normal. A few more spells to flip. So not super lucky. Although he hasn't played Ponder's Brainstorms to ensure that yet.
Yeah, true. So Russell can take advantage of this. So he's going to be losing life from this. That's a Chain Lightning. Now, the Chain Lightning, do you target your opponent's face or do you target the Delver of Secrets?
Well, he's gone face here.
Yeah, I like getting rid of Delver of Secrets because
it's his only creature.
Yeah, well, Delver of Secrets is basically an enchantment that says Lightning Bolt your opponent every turn.
And with the Cindervines out as well, your life total is kind of relevant.
This is why, it makes sense. Yeah,
very nice.
Totally makes sense. So Spectacle was got there, and from the Spectacle, the Skewer of the Critics was able to be cast for a single mana, making a really mana efficient turn because it looks like Russell's following up with another 1-drop.
Do we know Sean's last card in hand? From
don't.
Goblin Guide flips or anything like that?
We don't, because the other card that was bounced back was a dazing with the Tropical Island, so that was already played afterwards, so we don't know what it is. Light up the stage. Here we go. Yeah, basically red Brainstorm. Let's effectively draw 2 cards. This is where we want Experimental Frenzy. Land Experimental Frenzy. There is no Experimental Frenzy here, but if you're playing enough arena, then you'll know. No, that's Lightning Bolt.
Lightning Bolt. Gosh, I can't keep up with all these.
Yeah, it's
alt arts and
yeah. So it was Goyf. You did make the right call. The last card in hand was Goyf, and Lightning Bolt's not going to do much at all to Tarmogoyf.
No, but he's got a good chance of racing. All those Cindervines, I think, is going to show its power here. Because,
I don't think he has a good chance of racing because he's got a single card in hand and top decks.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, obviously, normally that Burn is very good at racing, but I think the Cindervines is going to do a bit of work here. It sort of switches off Russell's ability to do this play that he's doing, which is like, I'm just going to burn your face before you kill me with your creatures. Well, ideally, he wants like creatures to be able to interact here with the Cindervines.
Yeah, here's a fetch land crack, which means he's probably got a 3 mana spell.
Exquisite Firecraft.
So it could be Exquisite Firecraft. He's not actually running Sulfuric Vortex at all in his deck, so that's not a thing. But even if he was, this would be the worst possible place to cast it. Not only do you take damage every turn whilst your opponent has a Goyf, but also it dies for Cindervines.
Yeah.
Exquisite Firecraft it is.
And I've got no problem with that. The Goif's a 4/5. You could have Exquisite Firecraft to Goif and what do you play? Bolt or Chain the face as well.
Bad.
But spending 2 burn spells on a Goif, it's not where you want to be.
No, he just needs to go top deck Price of Progress.
Sean's going to top deck better because Sean's going to top deck 4/5s and 3/3s.
Yeah.
And you're top decking like Lava Spikes that do 3 damage only once.
Yeah. And Sean Brown knows that the one way he loses is to play that third land in hand. So that's the third land. That card in hand is a land. If he plays that third land, he basically opens himself up to Price of Progress. So he's obviously not going to do that. What he does want to do is try and speed up the clock. So can he do that with a second Tarmogoyf? Yes, he can.
Very good.
Yep. And let me guess, no play of the third land? For sure. All right, he's not going to lose to Pop now. Basically, there's no way he can lose this.
Price of Progress Fire Blast? Price of Progress? Bolt?
Yes, there is. Yeah. Well, I guess if he top decked, if the 2 cards in his hand, because one of them was top decked,
we just need 2
top deck.
2 burn spells. Yeah. But essentially, creatures aren't going to do it. And he's already spent.
I don't know why I said there was no way he could lose. I forgot that he's got a draw for the turn.
Yeah, he's got a lot of burn spells. Okay.
Yep, Lava Spike.
It's one.
Here we go. We've got one last card in hand.
I guess
it's
just
plays around days.
No.
Oh, chump blocker for a turn.
Okay, it'll do
it's
it.
Real.
It's
yeah.
real.
And it leaves him live to top deck Bolt.
Does it?
Yes,
because
it does.
No,
it doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
Oh no, Cindervine's real.
But it leaves him live to top deck Goblin Guide or...
Yeah, you're right.
No, it doesn't. Because he's on 3.
Oh, wow.
So what does it leave him live to?
Nothing.
I think nothing. Yeah, and this is Sean explaining, I think you've got 0 outs. Maybe?
Yeah, he's like, if you play an Eidolon, I'm going to kill the Eidolon and you die. If you play any non-land spell, you die as well.
Oh, no,
yep.
he's
just explaining. There's no targets. There's no targets.
No, is he sacrificing it to make the Goif bigger? To make it enchantment.
But there's no targets to sacrifice it to.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. So what he's explaining is that you take 4, you go to 1. For those of you who are following at home, he chump blocks, he goes to 1 from the other Tarmogoyf. There's literally no card that he can draw. So if he draws a non-creature spell, he dies to the Cindervines. If he draws a creature spell, it doesn't kill Sean Brown because it's like Goblin Guide or Swift Spear. They don't do 3 damage. They do 2 or less damage. So there's literally no way.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. Wow. We didn't really get a chance to talk about sideboards for Sean in that game, so we'll take the opportunity now to get up Sean's list and have a look at some sideboard cards. Yep. There's not heaps. He's obviously brought in
2 of Braid.
He's obviously also brought in 2 Cindervines.
Maybe 1, don't know, but yeah.
Yeah, at least one.
One or more Cindervines.
And then Barbering, I don't love because it interacts with creatures, but it's just not worth it for
the life loss is so painful in this matchup. It's really good in other matchups where you want an uncannibal way of killing something for 2 damage, but killing an Eidolon of the Great Revel with a Barbering that's dealt you 5 damage over the course of the game, pretty bad.
Yeah, I also don't like True Name because it means you want to be playing more lands, which makes you a bit of a dog to price, and also you don't really need Goif fills the role because Goif can't really be easily interacted with against bolts, etc. It can be interacted with, but it's not efficient, and it does less. It's less of a clock. So Goif fits the role for 2 mana. It does a better job than True Name will.
And it is relevant. It is relevant that when you're on a Delver deck and you're against Burn, you take out 4 Wastelands. Whilst sometimes you're like, I can Wasteland myself in response to Price of Progress, and these cute little interactions. Fundamentally, instead of 4 Wastelands which do literal nothing, you'd rather have 4 cards which do literal something.
Well, they do something against the Plateau. Because...
He hasn't seen it, though.
No, absolutely. Yeah. And to be honest, I think it wouldn't come up that often, because you've got 2 Plateaus. Most likely you've just got a bunch of fetch lands.
True.
So... And most likely Sean doesn't want to be wasting anyway because he's going to be behind on board. So yeah, I agree. I like taking out Wastelands. Maybe even Dismember because it just costs life. Yeah,
you probably just take out...
Stifles as well.
You probably take out 2 Dismember and 3 Wasteland. He probably has to keep in Stifle just because there's not enough targets. He just has not enough cards to bring in, 2 True Name, 2 Abrade, 2 Cindervines, 1 Counterspell at absolute maximum.
Yeah.
This is like the maximum
That's
cards
right.
that
And
can
like
actually even come
True
in.
Name Counterspell aren't great. They're
Yeah.
just maybe better.
They're like, are they better than
Yeah.
Dismember? You know, like I actively don't want Dismember. I guess I have to bring in True Name.
All right, so Russell's on the play here, game 3, and it's another turn 1 idiot to start the game off. This time it's a Swift Spear. Do you prefer Goblin Guide or Swift Spear?
I definitely 100% prefer Goblin Guide. Goblin Guide is fantastic on turn 1, but I can see people who like Swift Spear as a means in like blue-red tempo of, you know, chaining through prowess and netting more damage than the Goblin Guide.
Yeah, I think I prefer Goblin Guide too. The other factor is obviously the lands. You know, you're not going to flip random lands, and you can like hurt people's brains with maths if you like start overthinking what you can do with prowess.
Yeah,
but I think it's more likely that's against like a new player who again overthinks it.
Yeah, note that Monastery Swift Spear is a non-bow with Skewer the Critics and vice versa. You can't really cast Skewer efficiently to trigger prowess. You have to hit with a Swift Spear to trigger Spectacle.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, oh, there's so many spells you could do it easily. It's a lot clunkier than I think you realise, especially if Lava Spikes are being taken out in a game like this, because you know, it's going to be something like Roof Bolt Suspend or Light Up the Stage, which is post damage anyway. Yeah.
We can see exactly that happen, where it was attack with Swift Spears in order to trigger Skewer, in order to trigger Spectacle, and then you cast the Light, but it's actually lost 2 damage.
And Russell's hand, I think, is a land as well, and it's 2 lands off the Skewer, so not looking great, especially after flip on Delver with revealing a Braid.
Yeah, this is and
really
as
good.
you can see, there's a Wasteland in because, you know, there's just not enough cards to take out versus cards to keep in, so the Wasteland is in there ready to power that Abrade out and kill one of the Swift Spears.
Yeah, I think I like a Braid right here, right now, because you just want to be maintaining your life total.
And
you're obviously
sure
not going to
double prowess.
Yeah, and you're not going to be able to play a Goyf anyway.
Yep, this looks like an Abrade.
Yep.
Yeah, very nice. Yep.
No, I mean, like, again, chances are he doesn't have double prowess, but it's just not worth the risk.
I'm happy with that play. I love it.
You're going to Braid anyway, so main phase is the way to do it.
So look at this. Plays fetch land, not the plateau. So that means that obviously the fetch land can find a plateau at some point. But does that mean he has Price of Progress in hand and he's trying to leverage the price for the least amount of damage to himself?
It's anything I can think of.
Yeah.
Or he's scared of Wasteland.
That fetch land is so bad. Look at the life total. It's 13. Taking yourself to 12 is terrible. It's literally like Time Walk.
Yeah, but he might just be scared of Wasteland. He sees Wasteland, he goes, don't play basics, non-basics. But
he's mana flooded anyway.
Exactly, and Sean Brown doesn't really want to be Wastelanding here anyway. So
yeah, for sure. All right, this is 3 mana, so Exquisite Firecraft. Ooh, killing the Delver. Yeah. So
does he have? It can be countered. There's only 1 sorcery instant in the.
There is only 1 sorcery.
So this can be Double Daze. Spell Pierce.
Most
likely Spell Pierce.
Spell Pierce will be savage here.
Maybe really, he's thinking about a Force because Sean's. I think Spell Pierce is pretty snap, but maybe he was thinking of a Force like, oh, do I want to Force pitch a threat?
Yeah, the risk here for Sean is that as soon as he loses his pressure, he's basically extending the game, and the longer the game goes, the more burn spells that can be vomited out in one go. So it's possible that he just so he has another Delver in
Yeah,
hand.
it might have been like he can Force pitch Delver, or he can just play Delver.
Yeah, yep.
And like take 2 life.
Given that Russell was mana flooded there, this is why I like playing the plateau. Just because, like, if you eat your opponent's Wasteland, sure, that's fine. Alright, here's a hard cast Skewer the Critics. Triggering Prowess, getting him for 2.
Nice. So Sean's a bit mana screwed here.
But mana screwed is sometimes okay against a burn deck because you've got interaction.
That's
but
right.
Unfortunately, it's a Wasteland.
It's a Wasteland is the issue, yeah. And Russell's only got 1 card in hand, is that right?
Well, 2 cards, I believe. It looks like 2 cards to me. And this is pretty tight. You know, if his last card in hand, or one of the last cards in hand, is an Exquisite Firecraft, that can be, you know, really, really important in a game like this where the counter spells might be being saved. We don't know if there are counter spells in the hand. It looks like is that literal counter spell? White border counter spell from 7th or something. So here's a Lava Spike.
Spell Snare as well.
Okay. So Lava Spike, triggering Prowess, getting in, taking Sean Brown to 7. This is looking a lot more like the advantage bar is swinging to Russell's side.
Yeah, I thought once that light up stage didn't flip much.
Tarmogoyf in hand, no
Yeah.
green source.
So light up the stage didn't flip much. Sean wasn't able to fetch though. It was just a natural draw Volk, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah, because Russell flipped 2 lands off the light up, and I know he had at least 1 land in his
He
hand
was really
of
flooded.
3, and I was like, oh, he's pretty flooded here.
Here's the fetch land. Fetch land finally comes with a tropical island. Playing Tarmogoyf, ready to block that Swift Spear. Tarmogoyf is massive enough. You know, he's an instant sorcery creature land, so he's the largest he needs to be in this particular matchup.
Yeah, that's right. And now there's no point playing around Price of Progress because you're dead to it anyway.
Yep, he's just got to hope that the last card in hand is not Searing Blaze, because Searing Blaze is the kind of thing that often rots in hand. But it looks like it's a land in hand, to be honest.
Whew. But you can see, even with a flood, like, Burn's strong, and Burn's actually going to be, ironically, getting better later, because Daze isn't going to be that relevant. Spell Pierce isn't going to be that relevant.
Hardcast Riftbolt, and everything plays around Spell Snare. Look at that. Wow, that was a blazingly fast match. 3 games.
There weren't any 2
Russell-
drops at all played, right?
No, yep. Russell takes that one down. Russell progresses into the semi-finals, and Sean Brown is eliminated. Thank you very much for playing, Sean Brown. And we will see you in round whatever it is, semi-finals round. And maybe Russell will be on again. I'm not sure.
I guess it's round 7, I suppose, but it's the second round of the top 8.
Semi-final. Yeah, getting really, really close to the end. This is pretty exciting. That is the coverage of the Adelaide Eternal Legacy Cup. We will see you in the penultimate round.
See you then.